It's been 5 years since Sarah Johnson's water broke outside billionaire Marcus Reed's mansion gates. Marcus delivered her baby David himself, and through DNA testing, he discovered he was the father from a one-night encounter. But Marcus's girlfriend Lizzy framed Sarah for theft. The truth was revealed through security footage. Lizzy was arrested and sent to prison. Marcus and Sarah fell in love and got married. But is their marriage really peaceful? Let's find out together. Their son David is now 5 years old and the light of their lives. It was a peaceful Tuesday morning when Marcus Reed's phone rang in his office. He was reviewing a report from Sarah's foundation when his assistant buzzed in. Mr. Reed, there is a lawyer on line 1. Says it's urgent regarding Lizzy Morrison. Marcus felt his stomach drop. He hadn't heard that name in 4 months, not since Lizzy had been sentenced to prison for theft and fraud. Marcus Reed speaking, he answered cautiously.
Mr. Reed, this is Attorney Janet. I'm calling on behalf of my client, Elizabeth Morrison. She's currently incarcerated, but she has some important news to share with you.
What kind of news? Marcus asked, his voice tense.
Well, she's pregnant, Mr. Reed, and she claims you are the father.
The phone nearly slipped from Marcus's hand. That's impossible. I haven't seen her in over 4 months.
She says the child was conceived the night before her trial.
The lawyer continued.
She wants to arrange a meeting to discuss the situation.
Marcus felt the room spinning. I need to think about this.
Mr. Reed, my client is 4 months pregnant. Time is not on our side here.
After hanging up, Marcus sat in his office chair, staring out the window. How could he tell Sarah about this? Their life had been perfect. They were happy, their marriage was strong, and David was thriving. That evening, Marcus came home to find Sarah helping David with a puzzle in the living room. The sight of his happy family made his heart ache even more. Daddy! David ran to hug him. Look what Mommy and I built. Marcus picked up his son and forced a smile. That's amazing, buddy. Why don't you go wash up for dinner? After David left the room, Sarah could see something was wrong. Marcus, you look like you've seen a ghost. What happened at work? Marcus sat down heavily next to his wife. Sarah, we need to talk about something very serious. You are scaring me, Sarah said, reaching for his hand. I got a call today from a lawyer. Marcus began carefully. Lizzy's lawyer. Sarah's face immediately changed. What does that woman want now? Isn't prison enough punishment for what she did to us? Sarah. Marcus took a deep breath. She's pregnant, and she claimed I'm the father. The color drained from Sarah's face. She pulled her hands away from his. What are you talking about? You haven't seen her since the trial 4 months ago. She says it happened the night before her trial. Marcus said quietly. I don't remember anything like that happening. But what, Marcus? Sarah's voice was rising. Are you saying your dick just fell on her? You slept with that woman while we were married. No, Sarah, I would never. Then how is she pregnant with your child? Sarah stood up, pacing the room. I don't know if she really is, Marcus said desperately. She could be lying, but if she's not lying, if there is even a chance that that baby is mine, I can't abandon my own child. Sarah felt her world crashing down around her. So what are you saying? That you are going to play happy family with the woman who tried to destroy our lives? That's not what I'm saying at all, Marcus said, standing to reach to her. But if that baby is mine, go away from me, Sarah said, tears streaming down her face. I can't believe this is happening again. Sarah ran upstairs to their bedroom and began pulling clothes from the closet. Her hands were shaking as she threw items into a suitcase. Marcus followed her upstairs. Sarah, what are you doing? I'm leaving, she said without looking at him. I won't be the fool who stays while her husband has babies with other women. Sarah, please listen to me. Marcus pleaded. I don't even know if this baby is mine. Lizzy could be making this up to hurt us. And what if she's not making it up? Sarah turned to face him, her eyes red with tears. What if you did sleep with her? How can you even sleep with her? I don't know. What if you have been lying to me this whole time? I haven't been lying to you, Marcus said firmly. I love you, Sarah. You and David are my world. Your world? Sarah laughed bitterly. Your world just expanded to include another woman and another baby. David appeared in the doorway, looking confused and scared. Mommy, why are you crying? Why are you packing your clothes? Sarah's heart broke, seeing her son's frightened face. She knelt down and hugged him tightly. Mommy needs to go away for a little while, sweetheart, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. Are you coming back? David asked, his little voice trembling. Sarah looked at Marcus over David's head. I don't know, baby. I don't know. The next day, Marcus reluctantly agreed to meet with Lizzy at the prison. He sat across from her in the visiting room, barely recognizing the woman who used to be perfectly groomed and elegant. Prison had changed her. Her hair was unkempt, her face was pale, and her eyes held a desperate wide look. Hello, Marcus, Lizzy said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You look good. Which life still treating you well? Cut the games, Lizzy, Marcus said coldly. Your lawyer said you are pregnant, and I'm the father. Explain how. Lizzy placed her hand on her slightly rounded belly. 4 months along, she said. Remember our last night together? The night before my trial. Marcus searched his memory. He remembered that night. He had been devastated about the trial, about what Lizzy had done to Sarah. He had gone to a bar to drink away his sorrow. I was at O'Malley's bar, Marcus said slowly. I was drinking because of what you put me and my family into. And who do you think was there to comfort you? Lizzy said with a sly smile. You were so drunk, so heartbroken and wasted. I told you I was sorry, that I wanted to make things right. Marcus felt sick. I don't remember seeing you there. You were very, very drunk and wasted, Lizzy continued. I helped you to a hotel room. You kept saying Sarah's name, but in your condition, you thought I was her. You are lying, Marcus said, but doubt was creeping into his voice. Am I? Lizzy leaned forward. Check your credit card statement from that night. Check the hotel record. You will see you paid for a room at the Continental Hotel, the same hotel where you first met Sarah. Marcus felt his words tilting. He had been so drunk that night that parts of it were a complete blur. Even if that's true, Marcus said slowly, why didn't you tell me sooner? I didn't know I was pregnant until I was already in here, Lizzy said. And when I found out, I thought about keeping it to myself. But this baby deserved to know their father. How do I know you are not lying about this whole thing? Lizzy smiled. DNA test, Marcus. Just like you did with Sarah now. But here is the thing. I'm not asking you to leave your precious little family. I just want you to take care of this child. What do you mean? I mean money, Marcus. Lots of it. And when I get out of here, I want you to help me start fresh. New identity, new life, far away from here. Marcus realized this was all about money and revenge. You're trying to destroy my family again? Your family destroyed itself the night you came to my bed, Lizzy said coldly. I'm just collecting what's owed to me. After the prison visit, Marcus drove around the city for hours, trying to clear his head. When he finally returned home, the house felt empty and cold. Sarah had taken David and gone to stay with her friend Maria, the director of the women's shelter. Marcus called Sarah repeatedly, but she wouldn't answer. Finally, Maria picked up Sarah's phone. Marcus, she doesn't want to talk to you right now, Maria said gently. Maria, please. I need to explain. There is nothing to explain. Sarah's voice came through the phone. She had taken it from Maria. You betrayed our marriage, Marcus. You slept with that woman, Sarah. I can't remember. I was drunk. That's not an excuse, Sarah yelled. You were supposed to be my husband, my partner. How could you do this to us? The line went dead. Meanwhile, back at the prison, Lizzy was making a phone call of her own. It's me, she said quietly into the phone. Phase 1 worked perfectly. He believes the baby story. Good, a man's voice replied. Now, we move to phase 2. Are you sure you guys can handle getting the kid? Lizzy asked. Leave that to us. Just make sure Reed knows what he needs to do to get his son back. Lizzy smiled coldly. Oh, he will pay. He will pay for everything he puts me through. 3 days later, Sarah noticed she was being watched. Every time she took David to the park near Maria's apartment, she saw the same black van parked across the street. Maria, Sarah said when they returned from their walk, I think someone is following us. What do you mean? Maria asked, looking concerned. There is a van that has been outside every day this week. Different spots, but always where they can see us. Maria looked out the window. I don't see anything now. They drive away when we come back inside, Sarah explained. But I have a bad feeling about this. That evening, Sarah's phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello, she answered cautiously.
Sarah, Reed.
A man's voice said,
We know where you are. We know your daily routine. If you want to keep your son safe, you will listen carefully.
Sarah's blood ran cold. Who is this?
Let's just say we are friends with someone whom you destroyed their lives.
What do you want?
Nothing yet. Just wanted you to know that we are watching. Sweet little David looks so innocent, playing on those swings every day at 3 p.m.
The line went dead. Sarah's hands were shaking and she called Marcus immediately. They know where we are, she whispered into the phone. They are watching David. Marcus hired private security immediately, but the watchers were clever. They stayed just far enough away to avoid being caught, but close enough to send a message. For 2 weeks, Sarah and David lived like prisoners. They couldn't go to the park. They couldn't follow their normal routines. David didn't understand why they had to stay inside all the time. Mommy, I want to see the ducks, David complained one afternoon. Not today, sweetheart, Sarah said, peeking through the curtains nervously. Why not? I promise I'll be good. Sarah's heart broke. Her 5-year-old son was paying the price for adult problem he couldn't even understand. Marcus came to visit them every evening after work. The security team reported the same thing each day. The watchers were still there, but they hadn't made a move. Maybe they are just trying to scare us, Marcus suggested during one visit. It's working, Sarah replied. I can't live like this, Marcus. David can't live like this. What do you want to do? I want to go back home, Sarah said. At least there, we have better security. Here, we are sitting ducks. Are you sure? Marcus asked. At home, we will be together again. Sarah looked at him. Despite everything that had happened between them, she missed her husband. She missed their life together. I'm sure, she said, whatever problem we have, we can work through them. But first, we need to protect our son. The night Sarah and David moved back home, the kidnappers made their move, but they didn't expect the Reed family to be ready for them. Marcus had set up a sophisticated security system around the house. Motion sensors, cameras, and silent alarms were everywhere. At 2 a.m., the alarm went off in Marcus's security room. He watched on the monitors as 3 men approached the house from different directions. Marcus quietly woke Sarah. They are here, he whispered. How many? Sarah asked. 3 of them that I can see, maybe more. They had practiced this scenario with their security team. Sarah would take David to the safe room while Marcus coordinates with the security. But when Sarah went to David's room, his bed was empty. Marcus! She screamed. David is gone. Marcus ran to his son's room. The window was open and muddy footprints led across the carpet. They already have him, Marcus said, his voice deadly calm. Sarah collapsed on David's bed sobbing. How did they get past our security? Marcus checked the security footage. They've been planning this for weeks. Look at this. On the screen, they watched a figure in dark clothes climbing through David's window, but the person moved like they knew exactly where the camera were, avoiding most of them. This is someone who knows our house, Marcus realized. Someone who's been here before. The next morning, Marcus gathered all his household staff in the living room. The cook, the gardener, the housekeeper, and the 2 security guards who worked day shift. Someone in this room helped kidnap my son, Marcus said calmly. I'm giving that person one chance to confess and help us get David back safely. Everyone looked shocked and denied any involvement. Mr. Reed, said James, the head of security. I've worked for you for 3 years. I would never. Then explain this, Marcus interrupted, showing him a photo from the security footage. In the background of one frame, barely visible, was a figure giving hand signal to someone outside. James looked at the photo and his face went pale. That looks like Miguel. Miguel was the night security guard who had been hired just 2 months ago. Everyone turned to look at him, but his chair was empty. "Where is Miguel?" Sarah asked. "He called in sick today," James replied. "Said he had food poisoning." Marcus was already on his phone, calling Miguel's number. It went straight to voicemail. "That's our inside man," Marcus said grimly. "Miguel gave them the layout of our security system." Sarah felt sick. "So they know everything about our house. They know where David's room is, where the safe room is, everything. Which means they are not just random kidnappers," Marcus realized. "This is specifically targeted revenge." An hour later, Marcus's phone rang. This time, David's terrified voice came through immediately. Daddy, I'm scared. This man won't let me go home." "David, are you hurt?" Marcus asked desperately. "No, but I want mommy. I want to come home." "You are going to come home very soon, buddy. I promise." Then a man's voice came on the line.
Touching family moment. Now, let's talk business.
"What do you want?" Marcus asked.
$20 million. Cash. And we want Lizzy Morrison released from prison.
"I can get you the money," Marcus said. "But I can't get someone released from prison."
Then you better figure it out,
The man said.
"Because if Lizzy isn't free in 72 hours, your son disappears forever."
"That's impossible."
Nothing impossible for a man with your connection, Mr. Reed. You have 72 hours.
The line went dead. Sarah looked at Marcus in despair. "How are we supposed to get Lizzy out of prison?" "I don't know," Marcus admitted, "but we are going to try everything." Marcus spent the next 24 hours calling every lawyer, judge, and politician he knew. But the answer was always the same. There was no legal way to get Lizzy released early. "What if we don't make it legal?" Sarah suggested during a late-night strategy session. "What do you mean?" "What if it make it look like she escaped? Then we can catch the kidnappers when they try to pick her up." Marcus stared at his wife. "Sarah, that's actually brilliant. But how do we fake a prison escape?" "We don't fake it," Sarah said. "We make it real. But we control it." She explained her plan. They will bribe someone inside the prison to create a distraction. During the chaos, Lizzy would be moved to what she thought was a gateway vehicle. But instead, she'll be driven to a location where Marcus's security team would be waiting. "It's incredibly risky," Marcus said. "Everything we do now is risky," Sarah replied. "But it's our best chance to save David and end this nightmare." Marcus looked at his wife with new admiration. "When did you become so good at criminal planning?" "When someone took my son," Sarah said fiercely. "I will do whatever it takes to get him back." Getting inside help at the prison cost Marcus $50,000. But it worked. A guard named Rodriguez agreed to stage a fire alarm during the dinner hour. Lizzy was told by another inmate, who was also paid by Marcus, that her friend had arranged her escape. All she had to do was follow the plan. When the fire alarm went off, the prison went into chaos. Guards were running everywhere. Inmates were confused. And in the middle of it all, Lizzy slipped out of the dining hall and made her way to the service entrance, just like she's been told. A van was waiting for her, just as promised. "Get in," the driver shouted. "We don't have much time." Lizzy jumped into the van, feeling victorious. She thought she had outsmarted everyone. But instead of driving towards freedom, the van drove straight to an abandoned warehouse where Marcus and his security team were waiting. When the van door opened and Lizzy saw Marcus standing there, her face went white. "Hello, Lizzy," Marcus said calmly. "We need to talk." "You?" Lizzy screamed. "This is a trap." "Yes, it is," Sarah said, stepping out from behind one of the security guards. "And you walked right into it." Lizzy looked around wildly. She was surrounded by armed security guards, and there was no way out. "What do you want?" she asked. "I want my son back," Marcus said simply, "and I want this to end." "I don't know where your precious little boy is," Lizzy lied. "Yes, you do," Sarah said, "because you planned the whole thing." Marcus pulled out his phone and played a recording. It was Lizzy's voice talking to someone about the kidnapping plan. We recorded all your phone calls from prison, Marcus explained. We know you are working with Miguel and 2 other men. We know you promised them money to take David. Lizzy's face showed she was caught, but she wasn't giving up. Even if that's true, you will never find them in time. They have orders to kill the boy. If I don't check in every 12 hours, what do you mean? Sarah asked. I mean, Lizzy said with a smile, that I was supposed to call them at 8 p.m. tonight to confirm the escape walk. If I don't call, they assume something went wrong and they eliminate the evidence. Marcus checked his watch. It was already 6:30 p.m. You are going to make that call, Marcus said. No, I'm not, Lizzy replied. Not unless you guarantee my freedom. We are not negotiating with you, Sarah said angrily. Then your son dies, Lizzy said coldly. Marcus and Sarah looked at each other. They had just 90 minutes to save their son's life. What if we make her think she's getting what she wants? Sarah whispered to Marcus. Marcus understood immediately. Lizzy, he said, here is the deal. You make the call and tell us where David is. In exchange, we'll give you a 30-minute head start before we call the police. That's not enough, Lizzy said. It's all you are getting, Marcus replied. Take it or leave it. But if David dies, I promise you, you will spend the rest of your life in prison. Lizzy thought about it. 30 minutes might be enough to disappear if she was smarter about it. Fine, she said. But first, I want to see proof that you are serious about the head start. Marcus handed her the keys to one of the cars outside. That car has a full tank of gas and $5,000 cash in the glove compartment. Lizzy smiled. Smart man. She took out her phone and dialed a number. It's me, she said when someone answered. The package is being delivered on schedule, but there has been a change of plans. Bring the merchandise to the old Miller farm outside the city. Are you sure? A man's voice asked. I'm sure. 1 hour. And make sure the merchandise is in perfect condition. She hung up and looked at Marcus. The Miller farm is about 45 minutes from here. If you're lying, Marcus started. I'm not lying, Lizzy said. I want this over as much as you do. Immediately, Sarah and Marcus raced over to an abandoned Miller farm where David was being held, and Sarah bravely offered to walk in alone to distract the kidnappers while the team surrounded the barn. Pretending to be a stranded traveler, Sarah calmly stepped into danger to stall the kidnappers while secretly signaling Marcus's team to move in. Marcus and his team stormed the barn just in time. The kidnappers were caught completely off guard. They dropped their weapon and raised their hand as the security team surrounded them. Mommy! Daddy! David cried, running to his parents. Sarah swept him up in her arms, tears streaming down her face. Oh baby, I was so scared. I knew you would come find me, David said, hugging her tightly. Marcus wrapped his arm around both of them. Are you hot? He asked David. No, they gave me toys and food, David said, but I wanted to go home. We are going home right now, Marcus promised. As the security team was tying up kidnappers, one of them spoke. You know this isn't over, right? He said. Lizzy is not going to give up. What do you mean? Sarah asked. She's got backup plans, the man said. More people working for her. Even if you catch us, she will keep coming after you. Marcus felt a chill. How many people is she working with? Enough, the kidnapper said with a nasty smile. As Lizzy tried to flee in a disabled car, police swooped in and arrested her. Yet, her chilling smile said the story wasn't over. Even with Lizzy behind bars, Sarah and Marcus faced a fresh wave of threats from her hidden allies, revealing a bigger criminal network at play. Determined to end it all, Marcus and Sarah set a trap, posing as easy targets at a high-profile event to lure Lizzy's team out of hiding. At a glamorous charity gala full of undercover guard, the trap was set, but just as danger entered the room, the light suddenly went out. When the ballroom went into darkness, screams echoed throughout the room. Guests were bumping into each other, trying to find their way out. In the chaos, Marcus felt Sarah's hand slipped from his. Sarah! He called out, but his voice was lost in the noise. Emergency lighting kicked in, casting eerie shadows throughout the ballroom. Marcus could see security agents moving through the crowd, trying to maintain order while searching for intruders. Marcus! Sarah's voice came from across the room. Over here! Marcus pushed through the confused crowd towards his wife's voice. When he found her, she was backed against a wall, facing a man in a black suit who was pointing a gun at her.
Don't move, Reed.
The man said when he saw Marcus approaching.
Your wife and I are going to take a little walk.
Let her go, Marcus said calmly. Your fight is with me, not her.
My fight is with your whole family,
the man replied.
Lizzy wants you all to suffer the way she suffered.
Lizzy is in prison, Sarah said. This won't help her.
Maybe not, the man said. But it will make me rich. There is a bounty on your heads, both of you.
At that moment, James appeared behind the gunman and pressed his weapon against the man's head. Drop it, James said quietly. The gunman hesitated for a moment, then dropped his weapon and raised his hand. With the gunman captured, the security team was able to round up his two associates. Under interrogation, they revealed the full extent of Lizzy's criminal network. She's been running a revenge for hire business. One of them confessed. Rich people pay her to destroy their enemies. Your case was just the beginning. How many others are involved? Marcus asked. Dozens. The man replied. She's got people in security companies, police departments, even some judges. She's been building this network for years. Sarah felt sick. So this could have gone on forever. If you hadn't caught us tonight, yes, the man said. But now that we are taken, the whole thing will fall apart. At Lizzy's final sentencing hearing, she faced additional charges for running a criminal enterprise, conspiracy, and multiple counts of extortion and kidnapping. Elizabeth Morrison, the judge said, you have shown a complete disregard for the law and for human decency. You have terrorized innocent families and corrupted numerous public officials. Lizzy stood silently as the judge continued. I hereby sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As the bailiff led Lizzy away, she turned to look at Marcus and Sarah one last time. This isn't over. Remember, I still have your baby. 10 years after the nightmare with Lizzy began, Lizzy was never pregnant with Marcus' baby, and the Reed family was stronger and happier than ever. David, now 15, was a confident, compassionate young man who volunteered at his mother's foundation every summer. Mom, he said one day as they were helping serve dinner at one of the shelters, I want to become a lawyer when I grow up. Really? Sarah asked. What kind of lawyer? The kind that help families like we help families here, David said. I want to make sure bad people like that woman who tried to hurt us never get the chance to hurt other families. Sarah felt tears of pride in her eyes. Her son had taken the trauma he experienced and turned it into motivation to help others. Marcus has stepped back from many of his business responsibilities to spend more time with his family and support Sarah's charitable work. He had discovered that through fulfillment come not from making money, but from making a difference. Do you ever regret it? Sarah asked him one evening as they watched David playing soccer in the backyard. Regret what? All of this. The curse, the danger, everything we went through. Marcus thought about it for a moment. You know what's strange? I don't regret any of it, really, really. Because it taught us what we are capable of when we stand together. It showed us how strong our love really is. Sarah smiled. And it led us to help so many other families. Exactly. If we hadn't gone through all that pain, we never would have understood how to help others who are going through similar struggles. As they sat together watching their son play, both Marcus and Sarah reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment. They had started as two strangers, brought together by desperate circumstances. They had fallen in love, built a family, and then had that family tested by forces that tried to tear them apart. But through every challenge, every threat, every moment of fear and uncertainty, they had chosen to stand together. They had chosen to fight for each other and for their son. And in the end, their choice had not only saved their family, it had made them stronger and given them a purpose bigger than themselves. The Reed Foundation now operated 12 shelters across 3 states, helping hundreds of families every year. Their story had been featured in magazines and documentaries, inspiring other wealthy families to get involved in charitable work. But for Marcus and Sarah, the greatest reward was seeing the smile on their son's face every morning and knowing that they had given him a childhood filled with love, security, and the knowledge that his parents will always fight for him. "I love you," Sarah said to Marcus as they sat on their couch that evening. "I love you too," Marcus replied, "forever and always. Promise, promise." And as the sun set behind their beautiful home, the Reed family knew that no matter what challenges the future might bring, they would face them together with love, courage, and an unbreakable bond that had been forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the power of true love. This story reminds us that love isn't just about the good times. It's about choosing to stand together when everything seems to be falling apart. It shows us that sometimes our greatest trial becomes the foundation for our greatest purpose, and that families built on genuine love and trust can overcome any obstacle life thrown at them. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to share this story with your family and your friends whom I love to see them. Till I see you again in my next story. Goodbye.